So today's topic is about watching out for scams, watching out for scammers, watching out for 419 folks. There is no race or ethnicity that is free of fraudsters. There is no race or ethnicity that is free of fraudsters. Let me make that clear because I know my Nigerian folks, family, friends, loved ones, there is no race or ethnicity that is free of fraudsters. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Tracy Blake Salami. I make mommy and lifestyle videos here on YouTube every week. It's Saturday here in New Jersey on the day I'm filming. It's rainy, it's really nasty out, and so I just wanted to take a moment to record one because I have a break in my whole schedule, and I also have time because Iwa is pretty lethargic, chilling. She's fed, she's clean, so she's just chilling watching her favorite preschool show. So while I have this moment, I did want to make a video on YouTube that discuss um, life post Wakanda. I've received a large number of comments from people, whether it's in my inbox on Facebook, DMs on Instagram, or even comments here on YouTube about marrying Nigerian, and all that comes with entertaining the thought of dating a Nigerian. And I just felt like it was the most responsible thing for me to do on this channel, since I do raise the issues of being an African American woman dating a Nigerian, that I felt it was responsible to have a conversation about not only relationships but choosing your mates and learning how to date and going through the whole process that every woman or man has to go through to find the person that they ultimately will spend their lives with. Okay, so what is 419? 419 is, well, they're numbers, but it's a phrase that is often used in connection with scams in Nigeria. And the numbers 419 comes from a part of the code or the law in Nigeria that outlaws the scams that we see that fall underneath that code, and they're mostly financial. Or I think they're pretty much all financial, where people are writing letters, they're seeking money in exchange for somehow something of value. They're asking someone to do something. They're frauding someone. They're taking advantage and being manipulative of other people. So when people casually say 419, they're really just saying that this person or this interaction or exchange is fraud, and it's a scam, and it's very prominent in Nigeria. The origins of 419, I think I have people here on YouTube who watch this channel who may be able to give a better perspective. But for me, just in my own knowledge of Nigerian culture, the history of the country, and the politics and the economy, for me, it seems to have come from a place of just poverty. And I don't mean just because poor people do 419. No, it means for me that there is a certain segment of the population that's depressed, where the economy isn't thriving. There are a lot of college graduates in Nigeria who graduate from college and don't really have job opportunities like here in the US, where if you work really hard, you go to college, you graduate, even if you're not at the top of your class, if you want to get a job, most of us who are actively seeking a job and have a college education can go out and find a job. It may not be what you want, it may not be in the field that you actually studied within, but if you want a job, you can get a job. That's simply not the case in Nigeria. In Nigeria, you can work your butt off, be at the top of your class, graduate, with flying colors, and suffer because there are no jobs in the economy. Um, Unless you know someone, unless your father knows someone, a lot of people suffer. And so it's created an opportunity for men, especially, but women too, to go out and find unscrupulous ways to get money. And one part of that is what they call Yahoo Boys, 419. Now it's Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and what other social media mediums that are out there for people to use. And they prey on people who are vulnerable, who don't know any better, who may be lonely, and try to take what they can get from that person. Some of them really spend time building a rapport, building a relationship, having this person truly believe that they're a love interest. And when they have an opportunity, when the timing is right, they take money and continuously take money until, they've gotten what they wanted. And they can make up all sorts of stories. And some people will actually have you believing that they're actually in the country with you, because there are ways to get numbers from Google that are not really tied to any landline phone or any one account with a real name. There's so many sophisticated ways to get this done. And I feel that there is a cloud over all of social media when you get an inbox message or a DM from someone you don't know who's professing some love for you. Keep that in mind. So 419 comes from a place of just people who are looking for something because they don't have. I mean, if we think about it, people who really have the resources and means to do well in their home country wouldn't go out of their way to prey on people in this way. There's always rhymes or reasons why people plot and scheme and try to get money the quick way. But in this instance, it's really about a void and a lack in the country of Nigeria. And like I said, there is no other race or ethnicity that doesn't have this issue as well. It's just that Nigerians are notorious and they're really known, and they have such a bad rap for 419. So that's what we're talking about here. 419. This whole concept of Nigerian men being con artists is a sensitive topic in Nigeria, even in the diaspora, because no one wants to be targeted or labeled as being something that's less than the average or less than great. And I think that Nigerian men have a bad rap on social media, over anything dealing with those emails that we often get here in the U.S. from people saying they have $1,000,000 that's waiting from them somewhere and they just need you to do this or they need you to do that. There's a lot of negative talk, energy, reputation that is gone on for years regarding Nigerians and Nigerian men and whether or not you should believe them, respond to them, how you deal with them. And I feel like being a woman who's married into a Nigerian family is not something that I can escape because it's everywhere. I have family members here in the U.S. who have been targeted on Facebook for, whatever, from people who are from Africa or Nigeria, etc., etc. So I don't know all the answers. I don't have all the perspectives that could be found. This is just one opinion from one person who may not even matter to you. I am a small YouTuber. I just started this channel maybe 6 months ago, maybe a little bit more than that, but I didn't start to post consistently. I think it was may have been 6, 7 months ago. I'm not sure. Someone can fact check me on that and look back in my history. But I haven't been on YouTube long. I don't have a lot of subscribers. I don't have a lot of views as compared to some of the more prominent names we've all grown to love and know here on YouTube. But I feel that one of my most popular videos on YouTube is why I dated or why I married a Nigerian man. And it just came out of nowhere. I just so happened to be looking at stats on my videos, I think last month, and I noticed that the video just shot up like crazy. And I don't know why, but I welcome it. I like the fact that I'm getting a lot of viewers who are interested in knowing about what it's like to be a part of a Nigerian family, date and marry a Nigerian man, and just learn to love and accept the culture for what it is and really appreciate it as well. So, with that said, I feel that I need to respond to all these questions in my inbox and all these things that I'm getting from people who are saying, well, I've fallen in love with this person. I met him this way or that way. I believe we're going to get married. What do you think about this or that? This is how this person came to me. And I don't really have a sure proof way to tell you whether or not you're being scammed. But I do have some pointers that you should take, accept for what it is, and do with it as you want. But these are things that are red flags for me. And these I've put together based on the conversations I've had with people who've reached out to me and someone who's pretty close to me who had to go through my husband to ask certain questions. So the first thing for me that is glaring is if the person who's contacting you, number one, you don't know them. You've never met them. They don't live in the same town. You don't know anyone who knows them. They are complete strangers. And they reach out to you on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, YouTube, wherever, email, what have you. Not that everyone you meet and date you have to know, because that's the whole point, is that obviously you don't know the person that you're going to marry or date or be with, and the whole point of the dating process is to get to know that person. But if the person who's reaching out to you is reaching out to you just because they came upon your name on a social media site and they want to get to know you, for me, that's a red flag. Now, what do you say to people who are here in the US who slide in your DMs trying to mac? Same thing. I don't really trust those form of communications to really spark a conversation. Now, if you join Tinder or you join some of these other websites and you are actively seeking people, that's another layer of the process by which you need to really, really screen the people that you deal with, because people who are on those sites scam as well. So my whole point is, if you don't know the people who are saying they are falling in love with you after a few days, who've never met you, don't live in the same town with you, really don't know you, you really don't know them, and they're asking you for money, they're spending an unusual amount of time corresponding with you, like you're getting sucked up into a vacuum of constant conversation with them all times of day and night. For me, those are red flags, because number one, most grown people who have a job and pay bills literally don't have that much time. If what you're doing is taking you away from your usual activities, like let's say you usually go to church on Sundays, go out with the girls for brunch, go shopping, I don't know, be a part of some professional association, go to different events around town with people you love and care about, and all of a sudden you're going to work, coming home and getting on the phone and staying on the phone for hours, and you're talking to someone who's out of the country, who you've never met before, no one else knows them, you haven't really told anyone about them because you're kind of afraid of is this even real? Do I even know this person? Should I trust this person? Uh, I don't know what my friends will say if I told them about this person. I'm a little embarrassed. Those are usually, for me, signs that you need to slow down and watch what you're doing. You should never send money out of the country to help anyone unless the person you're sending money to is a family friend or loved one, someone who you really, 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 really know, love, and care about and can afford to help. If someone is asking you to do something for them, make some sort of money transfer transaction, receive any money on their behalf, that's a red sign. There's nothing wrong with communicating with people online who generally want to get to know you. But when they start to ask you to do things or ask you to share information that you wouldn't give, to a stranger on any other day, then why would you do it in this situation? There is a lot of private information that we don't even give to people we love and care about. So why would you give it to a stranger? Don't give anyone any bank information or any card information, or let them know where you live or how you live or where you work. Anything about you that's extremely private, that could be something that could be taken from you and run with, and people can do a whole lot with very little. So unless you really, really know a person, then you shouldn't be sharing private information with them. Another thing that you need to be aware of is that most of the time, the stories that people tell online can be fact checked. Someone in my family reached out to my husband. She didn't reach out to me directly, but she reached out to my husband because she wanted to know whether or not to trust and believe a person who was calling and corresponding with her from Nigeria about, possibly dating this person. Like, is this story that he's telling true? Does it make sense? And so I don't know all the specifics, but I know that this person reached out to her on Facebook. She didn't know them, doesn't have any mutual friends. All of a sudden, this person is saying, "You're beautiful. I love you. I want to get to know you," etc., etc. To make a long story short, this person worked supposedly in the banking industry and worked with some sort of bank that helped women who had some sort of issues. I don't know. It sounds some weird, like a weird combination of a bank and an NGO or a nonprofit organization. Whatever it was, it just didn't make sense. And for whatever reason, this person's employer was withholding money from them, and so they're suffering. Could you send money? And this person that I know was about to send money to someone out of the country who they didn't know. So the person thankfully reached out to my husband and said, "Does this make sense? First of all, the bank didn't exist. The address given for the bank didn't exist. Even some of the other fact checked, the information that could be fact checked, it just didn't pan out." And so when this person confronted the person from Facebook, the person started to cry, saying, "How could this person say this or do that to me? They don't really know me." And so the whole situation was squashed. And what's unfortunate is that that person may have gone on and moved on to someone else who fell victim to whatever it was that that was going on or being put together. But it's crazy because my loved one was almost willing and ready and able to go over and beyond for someone that she didn't know from Adam and send cash. And I don't know what the exchange rate is in Nigeria right now, but I believe it's somewhere along 350 naira to the dollar. I don't know. It changes every day. But the last time I checked the exchange was probably like a month ago. I that's just where it was. So you can do something with that. You can buy a meal, you can get, gas. I don't know how much you can get, but it's something. It's significant. And for everyday Nigerians who really don't spend that much, it's significant. So I just don't want people to watch my channel, see me tell a love story about Nigerians and then somehow get too relaxed. You don't need to look at this situation and think that everything is pie in the sky. You have to do your due diligence. You have to fact check. You have to ask a friend, does this make sense? Does this sound kosher? If you have to ask someone those types of questions, then it's probably not. If you're not, really certain about who it is that you're dealing with, then you probably need to back away. Let me tell you, there is someone out there for everyone. Everyone. And one of the comments that I heard, or I read on that video, someone just made like a really blunt statement that Nigerian men prey on fat black women, which I think is funny because I don't think that anyone who is really trying to con people or manipulate people or do 419, I think that they will go towards anyone who's vulnerable. So if you think that it's fat black women, great. But I also know that there are white women who are older who get preyed upon, and young white women as well, and Latino women. I've had people of all different sort of backgrounds reach out to me, different shapes and sizes. So while you may see a trend, in your area, I also see people who are all over the world sending me messages saying, I don't know whether to believe this is true or not, but I've fallen in love. And, this person has been so great to me, but you've never met that person. You don't know them. You don't understand the culture, and you haven't met their folks. And that's a big thing. In Nigerian culture, it's it's not it's very common for men to date and you never meet their family, and it's because to meet a family member, especially mom and dad, is a really big deal. If that person has taken you to meet mom and dad and you know for sure that this is mom and dad, I mean for sure, then usually that's a significant sign. Most guys will not bring women around their mom and dad unless it was something real going on. If you've never met the family and you only meet friends, that's for me a red flag. Because at some point, you have to meet the family. And truthfully, if the family is not in the country, then at least you would have had a phone conversation. And you would have some sort of way to corroborate all the things that have been said and done in connection with who the person is on the phone. Like, you just have to be completely sure. And if you still have hair on the back of your neck that's raised up, then you need to do your due diligence and search and find and look. And at some point, even if you've done all those things and you still feel good, you still feel confident about it, I would say protect yourself. Make sure you're not doing anything to expose yourself to harm. And that includes making sure you keep a lot of your personal information private, your bank information, private, and you don't go over and beyond to do anything else for a man. When it comes to Nigerian men, make him do the work. And I know that sounds old school and archaic, but in this instance, I think it's best if you listen to me. Make sure he pays for everything. Now, my husband, he may be watching this and he may have a different opinion, and I would love to hear it, but you know how my husband is. This is my channel, and his opinion, he doesn't really want to be involved in it. But I'm telling you, take care of yourself, protect yourself, and proceed with caution. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. I feel like this is like a really big conversation that I can't summarize in like 20 minutes. This is not a 20-minute conversation. It's not a one-dimensional conversation, but I feel like post Wakanda, it needs to have happened because we're seeing all these hints at, I don't know, like this whole notion of globalization and African American men and women, African men and women, especially in the film Black Panther. It just made me think about who we are as a people and our origins, our roots, why we're so disconnected in some ways, and why in a lot of ways we are still very much connected, and people in America are somehow some sort of lost tribe, who a tribe that doesn't know their roots, that can't really identify where in West Africa, Central Africa, East Africa, South Africa they're from. And I feel like, if you are an African American and you're dating an African, it means something. And I think during my wedding ceremony, my pastor, who is from Zimbabwe, said that same thing, that we are a couple that somehow got lost because of the slave trade, and by the grace of God, we've come back together to tie the knot. And I didn't have a really emotional moment during the wedding, but if I had one, that was it. Because it really hit me symbolically what our wedding meant. Not just that we were coming together as one and we were making these vows, but that in a big picture moment, taking a step back, we are of the same kind, and we were coming back together. So if, brothers and sisters, you're out there, you're dating, and you're interested in Nigerian men, I want to encourage you to do that, to explore, to have fun, but take care of yourself. Look out for yourself. Look for the signs. Look for all the warnings, the red flags. Don't be over, I don't know, just take care of yourself. Watch what you're doing. Don't share any sensitive information. Don't send any money anywhere. And watch some of the stuff that you see coming in and how it's written. I just want to encourage everyone to be careful and be kind to other people. I mean, just because you don't want to correspond with someone in that way doesn't mean you have to be rude or make negative statements or think that all Nigerian men are that way, because that's not the truth. But I do want to just caution you. And, if you don't want to deal with them, block them. I block so many Nigerians who come to me on Facebook all the time, and I know it's clear as day they can see that I'm married to a Nigerian. Some of my stuff on Facebook is public, and my wedding stuff, some of it is kind of out there. So I don't know why they're reaching out to me, but they're getting blocked, blocked, blocked. And it goes the same for women. There's Nigerian women that hit me up on Instagram all the time asking for money. I don't know them from a can of worms. Block, 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 block. But it doesn't mean that there aren't men out there aren't women out there who are of Nigerian descent, who are doing amazing things, who are worthy of your consideration. And I say that because I have a lot of friends who are here in the U.S. that are doing extremely well, who are of Nigerian descent. And they're like the creme de la creme. Like, it's hard to find an African American man who's doing really well. They're out there, they're a rare breed. And honestly, a good portion of them are Nigerian. So I don't think that you should necessarily just say all Nigerians are anything, or all any group is anything. Just proceed with caution. Anyway, I've taken up too much time now. I just wanted to leave this video out there to start a conversation. How do you feel about this subject? What are some of the warning signs that you think that women and men should look out for? Leave a comment in the comment section. If there's one part of this conversation you feel that needs to be had that I haven't really talked about, leave a comment in the comment section. If you feel that I am completely wrong, ignorant, and I need to go back and do my research again, tell me about it in the comment section. If you like what you heard today, please hit the like button and subscribe. I know a great number of people who watch this channel have not subscribed. So look for that little circle with my face in it. Click that button and it will take you to where you need to subscribe. Until next time, take care. Bye.